buy that for $1.
Welcome to the Dollar Club Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Panetta Sexy Time. I'm the only Panetta in the house and the sexiest man in the world. We got a little our Dollar Club champion down there with the Phillies gear. Jimmy, tell us a little about yourself. How you doing today?
What's up, people? What's up? Happy to be here. Another wrestling podcast. Want to get some ladies enjoying our stuff. Hopefully they're watching. Probably not, but we can hope. You know, at least we have a stripper with us.
Yeah, see, she's a good father up there. Keeps falling into that pizza. It's like he's taking a dive into there, like Geronimo into the pizza. What's up, good father? Tell us about yourself. How's your day going?
Hey, it's about to get drastic. I own 100% of the female demographic. It's the man that loves strippers, the notoriously bad tipper, Dong Skipper. Sorry about my Zoom settings, but ready for this podcast, man. Let's get into it.
Yeah. I know we're a little late on 4th of July, but it still is July, so I wanted to keep the theme of America. America!
Fuck yeah.
Today we're going to mostly talk about like U.S. champions and like patriotic themed characters. I'm going to start off like obviously with the gimme. This has got to be the best of all time. It's got to be Kurt Angle, right? Jimmy, is Kurt Angle the best American themed wrestler of all time?
No, not even close. Did you ever hear of Hulk Hogan?
Yeah, true.
I'm a real American. Like his theme song.
Did that one really not pop in your mind, Kevin?
It's probably not even close.
That was the first one that jumped into mind, and I love Kurt Angle, you know.
No, I love Kurt Angle too, but I mean Hulk Hogan is the true American hero, you know what I mean?
He's the true American racist.
Sing the song, Jim.
Huh?
Sing the song.
I'm a real
American.
Fighting for the
rights of
every man. I'm a real
American. Fight for what's right.
Fight for your life.
All right.
Obviously, I know Hulk Hogan is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, and I had a brain fart. I haven't played Real American at the bar me and Pat went to on 4th of July on the touch tunes, too. It was pretty funny. Looking at people cracking up, knowing it was like me and Pat looking over and like just seeing like who the fuck played this song? It was pretty funny.
I mean, if we're taking Hulk Hogan out of it, I mean, I guess you could say Kurt Angle, but you also have Lex Luger. You also have who the hell? I mean, I guess the Patriot, but he wasn't as big as Lex Luger.
Listen to me, you maggot. Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't think you could.
Yeah, I mean, he was obviously a big one too, but I mean,
Jim, real quick, there is somebody more patriotic than Hulk Hogan. Honestly, probably the greatest patriot of all time, Mr. America, the Masked Man.
Yeah.
Was he better than Hulk Hogan?
I think they were equal.
What do you think, Johnny? Mr. America or Hulkamania? Who's the better American wrestler?
You gotta give it to the Hulkster, brother. I think it's between Hulk Hogan and Kurt Angle. I feel like that's the ultimate
wasn't that
argument.
Hulk Hogan?
Yeah, remember that's when he wore the mask and pretended he wasn't.
Oh yeah, the blue one. Okay, but
Let's try to get.
But that's like John Cena still better than Juan Cena. Like that's basically what that was. You know what I mean?
Would you consider John Cena a United States themed wrestler?
I would, just because of how he carried the title.
Yeah, he was one of. Well, speaking of U.S. champions, he was probably at least one of my favorite U.S. champions. So I would consider him that, just like Johnny said, just because of the way he carried the title. Who are some American guys that come off on the top of your mind, Johnny?
I mean, I'm surprised you're going to make me say the American Nightmare first. That's for sure. I feel this. What?
Cody?
Yeah, he's the American Nightmare. He has a tattoo of like an American symbol on his neck.
Dream.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. Yeah, so that's how that works. I mean, Dusty, of course, you know. And
but Cody ended racism and he has a black wife. He is definitely the American dream. All right, keep going, Johnny.
This is probably a fucked up joke, but I was going to take a moment of silence for the Blue Blazer.
Red, white, and blue.
There was that. And you know what I wanted to bring up? I know he might not be viewed as like, American, even though he's from America, obviously. But when Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart were really feuding, and it became like an America versus Canada thing for a little while there. So I think Shawn Michaels definitely does fit the category to a degree.
He also feuded with and took the belt from the European title from the British Bulldog too. So I think he may not have been considered like the American guy, but in his head, I think he's like, I'm the fucking best American. Bret, I'm better than you. British Bulldog, I'm better than you. That's in my opinion.
You know what they needed to do? They should have just made him like one attire where like the hearts were like American flags or something, and that could have just really been the cherry on top.
You guys remember the Patriot? He was good for a little bit.
Trivia question: whose theme song did he have? Well, somebody had his song later. He's very, very famous.
The Patriot? I honestly can't remember his theme song.
Well, Kurt Angle has his theme song. He took it over.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Patriot had it first. Johnny, I don't know if you remember the Patriot. He was awesome, and he was really over. He got injured and had to like retire early. He was definitely like on the verge of being a champ in WWF.
Yeah, isn't that the one you're saying that was when Hulk Hogan wore the mask for a little bit?
No. That's Mr.
No,
America.
this was a different dude.
Okay.
He was
I
good.
don't remember the Patriot, unfortunately.
He got cut short. He was going to be big, but he got cut short.
He didn't have the best moveset, but he was a jacked luchador, like American luchador kind of thing.
He wore a mask, yeah.
Yeah, he was
Like a American flag mask, and he was real jacked.
Okay. Oh, a little before my time, I guess.
Can you think of any like American themed heels besides like Kurt Angle? But I don't really consider him a heel. But
Jack Swagger was a heel a lot of his career, the All-American American, the cocky American boy. And then Alex Riley was like the varsity villain, which is like your college quarterback kind of asshole guy. Not necessarily American, but college football varsity. It's like the 80s villain of every like TV show, you know?
what about Mark Henry? Was he a USA guy? Because he was like Olympian?
When he first came in, especially, and then when he turned heel, I think he switched away from it a little bit. But yeah, at first he was. He'd wear the red, white, and blue when he first started.
There's potentially somebody now who is a newer person who could be a really good one. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Gable Stevenson.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to me, Ezekiel is the American dream.
Oh, Christ. He was from, what you call it? Ezekiel. Are you talking about
Elias?
Dead? What is it? Walking Dead? Ezekiel?
No, I'm talking about Elias. Elias' younger brother.
Yeah.
Johnny's got the smash. I got the BLL.
Oh, yeah, buddy. Represent.
Yeah.
Real quick, speaking of the U.S. wrestlers and everything, did you guys watch that U.S. title match I sent you guys, WrestleMania 31, Cena versus Rusev?
Oh yeah, that's I bet Rusev is one of my. I was about to ask you guys your favorite U.S. champions, not the best. Rusev is one of my favorite champions, especially with that entrance too on the tank. At that WrestleMania.
That was awesome.
Yeah, he had a long 5-month title reign too. It was very, very impressive.
Yeah, that was a good match. I would say recently my favorite was probably John Cena. Just because of, we talked about it before. But just what he did, he had a lot of great matches.
He brought prominence back to the belt, honestly, too.
Yeah. But, if I go way, way back, thinking when I was a kid, when it was in NWA and WCW, I don't know if you guys remember a guy's name was Magnum TA.
Yeah, I remember the name. I never really saw too much of him, but I remember the name.
Yeah, he was an awesome U.S. champion.
One good thing about WCW is when guys would leave from WWF and go to WCW, they'd give the guys that weren't appreciated the U.S. champ. Like Hacksaw Jim Duggan actually had it over there.
You guys know who the first U.S. champ ever was?
Oh, shit.
1975, I think it was, when it was.
Who was it?
Harley Race.
Oh, I did know that. Damn it. He was very underrated wrestler. Well, for people our age, he's very underrated. He was a great world champion. Do you know who had the belt the most times?
think Lex Luger.
Lex Luger. I don't know if he had the most times, but the most days overall. Ric Flair might have had it the most times. Bret Hart had
I
it.
thought Ric Flair only had it like once.
No, I had it more than once.
Did he?
Yeah. It's a belt, Ric Flair.
Yeah,
Do
but
you
he
guys
was
think
usually the champion.
What's that, Johnny?
Do you guys think that needs to come back into wrestling? Because when I was watching like the John Cena versus Rusev and Rusev waving the Russian flag, it was almost like reminiscent of like Yokozuna matches where he would wave the, Japan flag, or at least his manager would. I feel like you don't get a whole lot of like USA versus, them anymore in wrestling, or not nearly as often as you used to. Do you think that needs to come back, or do you guys feel like that's a dated thing at this point?
I think Vince wants him to come back, but I think the fans don't root for the
Yeah, I
US.
don't know if it would get over like it would now, like just because of the way the fans are. I don't know if that's something that would get over like it used to.
Yeah, like suppose maybe Cena could get it over. That might be it. It'd have to be Cena. Somebody that where you're not going to boo anymore. Or
Yeah.
The Rock. The Rock came against like a. If it was against somebody like Russia, then maybe. And I think people need to go all out. Like Russia, there should be a Russian villain right now on every show. Rusev and AEW. He should be like a killer freaking Russian bad guy right now. Like, that's free heat. It's free heat. Take the heat. What's up, Jim?
No, I was saying if they did like a Russian guy versus a who are they? I don't know why I can't think of the country. Ukraine.
Yeah.
Like a Ukrainian guy, that would probably go over big. The Ukraine guy would obviously go over, but I don't know if a U.S. like just the way people are these days, and I think
depends where you're performing at too. I think if you were in down south, and you had Southerner, it would work in Texas, but like overall, I don't know if it'd come off well.
But they don't go to many South states anymore. It's usually they'll go to Texas, but they don't go to like Mississippi or anywhere
they
like
do the house
that.
shows there, but who cares? What's up, Johnny?
It's a fire idea I kind of just on the spot came up with. Imagine a King of the Ring, an 8-man King of the Ring, but it would be like the world King of the Ring. And you have like, there's 8 guys. So you have one guy from America, one guy from Japan, one guy from Russia, and everyone's kind of like representing their country. Like that'd be a good way to sort of bring King of the Ring back.
Well,
that could be something cool.
Believe it or not, I think all the other promotions do that except for WWE. WWE thinks they're bigger than the world. Like,
Really?
AEW just had the All Atlantic title tournament too. It was like all different countries. They didn't have. Did they have an American in there or not? They might not have. Not on the first one. And New Japan does it all the time too. I forget the name of their G1 Climax, or they have some cup tournament too. So it'd be awesome if they did.
Cool.
Yeah.
And it adds some like legitimacy to the sport, you know what I mean? Because that's like a sport thing to do, like the Olympics, basically. Like, why would you not do that? So, I don't know. WWE just needs to get away from Disney World-esque shit in general,
And they have so many foreign athletes now too, and they're kind of like treated equal. They're not really like looked down upon like they used to, except for maybe the Indian people. But even Jinder won a championship. They probably treat the Indian the heritage people the worst.
Shaky's on his way up, man. Or Shanky, sorry. He's
Just the
that's
fact-
such a freaking cheap pop.
Just the fact that they're making them dance, they don't respect them, like they would like if it was Samoan, or
They
American.
made Booker T do the spinner Rooney, but I mean,
I don't
he
think
got up
they
there,
made him do it. That was him. That was his move.
Yeah, he was
You
a
know what I'm
heel.
saying.
He was a heel down south, and like he did it to piss the white people off. Then eventually, it got him noticed, and they started cheering for him. It got over. They liked it. They're like, "Oh man, you can. That's a cool move." Speaking
Hey, I'll tell you guys this: no one was ever crying racism when Scotty Too Hotty was doing the worm. It was all good then. Everyone likes to see a white guy dance.
How come I'm the only one wearing red, white, and blue?
Get out of there. Well, technically it's teal. I know it's blue, but it's not America blue, and it's maroon.
I have some
Hey,
red and
it's
some
still
white.
red, white, and blue, man.
I got the Rock on. That doesn't get more American than that.
That's awesome.
Believe it or not, I almost had to this is supposed to be gray, and they sent me a a green and black one, and I complained to his store, and they sent me like a mean email. They're like, it's not the wrong color. You're wrong. They were like totally like calling me a liar. I'm like, dude, it's not the right color. They were like the most arrogant. I wrote The Rock on Twitter, then I realized that it's like it's a secondhand seller. It wasn't like The Rock store, you know. So like I was like,
Well, it's through Under Armour. The Rock's brand. His clothes are through Under Armour.
Yeah, I got it on Amazon though, so it was like a third party retailer on Amazon.
Oh yeah.
It come from Jim, take control for a second. My cat just ran into something. I gotta stop him real quick.
I have a topic if you don't, but go ahead.
Go ahead, Johnny.
So, you know who I was thinking about, man? You know whose career I really look back on? He's been with the WWE for damn near 30 years. And it really just makes me say, damn, is Farouk. You know, I feel like he was in the Nation Domination with The Rock. He was a tag team champion with Bradshaw, who would, you know, become JBL, multi-time champion. I feel like Farouk, as long as he's been there and has always been like somewhat over, like he's always been right on the verge of getting pushed in the main event spot, but he never quite did. When you saw other guys like, you know, Christian and, you know, like Edge and Benoit, they all start getting the world title and get pushed in the main spot, but Farouk never really did. And what do you guys think? I don't know if you know this,
but when he was in WCW, he was the first black champion ever.
Well, yeah, but you never saw anything near that till like the APA when he finally got like the tag title.
Yeah, no, WWE, they never gave him like a. He was kind of the guy that would get other guys over.
Jim, I think the Nation of Domination was built to get him over, to make him like that top heel world champion, but The Rock just overshadowed him. I think The Rock stole his push.
Yeah, you're right. I think you're right.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be ultimately what it is. And it just sucks because...
Can you think of a time, though, that there wasn't somebody, like, better than him? Or that there weren't a few guys better than him? Or that he made himself into a main event guy?
You're kind of right. I mean, I don't disagree with you. I was just kind of thinking about it like on paper. And also, whenever his name comes up in an interview, you know, Ron Simmons is Farouk. People like have nothing but nice things to say, like, oh, he was one of the best guys in the back. He always got along with the boys, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wow, as long as he's been there and people like him, like it's just a shocker.
But I think
I can't recall like an IC title run with him, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that could, but I think back then it was a different game, man. You had to really get yourself over if you wanted a title.
Well, now he should have been a transitional champion when like Mick Foley and stuff was coming up too. Like, and JBL eventually got the world title, and he was just as over as JBL.
He could have been, but I don't think that was a thing back then. You really had to earn it back then. It's not like now where they just give anybody the title who they want to push or who they want to make a statement about. You really had to earn the title.
I totally agree, and I just feel like there was a time though, like in like the later 2000s, like that was like right when they started sort of giving it to everyone in a sense. Like you still had to earn it, sure, but like a lot of people started getting the title, and I just, in retrospect, I don't know. I just think it's a little crazy. Like Farouk was never even like considered. I feel like as long as he's been with the company, and
I liked him a lot. I thought he was great. I mean, I wouldn't have been mad. He won a championship.
If you look at him on paper, it's like Nation Domination with The Rock. He was in the Ministry. He was, you know, but the acolytes with JBL, like, and now he's just the damn guy.
But think about it though. When the APA was like that, kind of pigeonholed them. They weren't going to be singles competitors at that point.
Yeah.
JBL, that was after that though.
Yeah, but you had Edge and Christian in that pool, and they both went on to become champions.
Yeah.
And Matt and Jeff Hardy, you know what I mean?
Well, Farouk was they were in the beginning of their career. Farouk was at the end of his career.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Jim. Like, if Farouk was going to win the world title, it had to be the Nation time. That's when he was still, like, late 30s, you know? That would have been his time. By the time he went to the Nation, when he went to the Ministry and APA, I think he went to a tag team probably to like save his back because he was probably getting a little older and more sore. So I think it had to be the Nation time. The Rock just jumped past him.
Well, I also think that Nation was him getting those guys, trying to get those guys over.
Oh yeah, especially I think it was trying to get Mark Henry over, and then they needed something to do with the Rock, and they just got lucky.
Yeah, definitely.
They put a lot of money into Mark Henry. They thought Mark Henry was going to be a star over the Rock. To be honest, at that point, young people out there are looking at me like I'm an idiot if they're watching this, but at that point, they spent
because the Rock was such a dud with Rocky Maivia. They didn't know because they didn't let him loose until I guess they figured, go ahead, do what you're going to do. Go to,
Well, you guys may never watch the I think it's USWA, that the Jerry Lawler, the promotion he runs in Memphis. I watched that was on like a public access channel up here a couple times, and The Rock was Flex Cavana, and he was very charismatic as a heel. So I think Jerry Lawler helped him get into the Nation and probably helped him had them not give up on him. So he saw how charismatic he was as a heel.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, but Farouk is like Farouk and William Regal could have been a world champion if the timing was correctly too. He didn't have drug problems. He's very talented, not small. There's a lot of guys. It's just the wrong time. It's got to be the right place, right time. I feel. Back to the America thing though, and what we were talking about here. I don't think they gave the wrong guy the belt or too many people the belt. The world title, Intercontinental, that's a different story. Until like Jack Swagger, Sheamus. I like Sheamus. I like Del Rio. But there's that's when the belt started feeling devalued to me. When they cut it into SmackDown and Raw, and those guys had the belt, and the show wasn't built around them. That's how Hangman makes me feel. Like how Del Rio, Sheamus, they're still awesome, but are they really world champions? They are, but they didn't treat them that way. And I like all of them. Maybe like Swagger, but Swagger's
that's been a lot. That's been a lot recently until Roman.
I put Drew McIntyre when he was hot and Lashley when they were hot over Del Rio, Sheamus, and Swagger.
Yeah. But I mean, like they took it from Lashley when he was still hot and gave it to Big E. Why?
For that pop, like it would have been cool if they had a storyline planned for him. They just threw him to the wolves.
Yeah, but Big E wasn't. I mean, I'm not saying he's not good or whatever, but he can't carry the show right now.
Oh, real quick, Johnny. When's the last time Lashley was pinned in a match?
By the way you're asking it, so it wasn't from Amos, I guess. I'm assuming it's before his injury, by the way you're asking it.
September.
No, didn't Xavier Woods pin him? Thought he rolled him up or something.
I was in September, I think. Hasn't been pinned since September.
That's wild.
Almost a full year.
Jeez, I'm surprised no one's really talking about that.
No, because someone just brought the attention to it. That's the reason why I know. I knew he was getting booked stronger, and he feels stronger than McIntyre right now. Now I see why he hasn't been pinned.
When's the last time Roman was pinned?
2 years.
Here's the thing with the Lashley thing. So Lashley beat Austin Theory to win the United States Championship, but then Austin Theory comes out Money in the Bank and wins Money in the Bank, which is essentially the championship in a sense.
Why are they pushing it so hard?
Do you feel like that deflated Lashley, beating him for the United States Championship?
Not at all, because he hasn't been pinned since September, and now he's a 3-time U.S. champ, and he knows he's got he's still strong as hell.
I think I'd say yes, Johnny. I think it deflated the win.
Oh, you deflated Theory's win?
No, Lashley's win.
Yeah.
I think they're doing it because Roman's not going to be on TV, so they want a strong U.S. champion and make it feel like it's almost like a world champion.
Yeah,
I feel the opposite.
I understand that, but I feel like having Theory lose and then win the Money in the Bank, which is probably a step up from having the U.S. title, I would think.
It is.
I just think it deflates that a little bit. And not to mention, why the freak are they pushing Theory so hard?
Jim, these are the kind of conversations that Vince needs to have behind the scenes, but he has too many yes men. This is a conversation he should have with Bruce Pritchard, but Bruce Pritchard and Johnny Ace are just like, you're right, Vince, let's do whatever you say. This is a legit conversation. There's different trains of thought here, and neither of us are right or wrong. I see it the other way, where it elevates the U.S. title. You guys see where it deflates it.
Yeah. No, I think Lashley's going to do good with it. I just think in that moment, that night, it kind of deflated Lashley's win. And I just wish that, I'm not saying Theory doesn't have a future and he's not a good young star, but why are they pushing him so hard right now so fast? Let him develop a little bit. Let him get the Intercontinental title. Let him have a few good feuds. And then, I just feel like they throw guys, push them too fast.
John, why do you think it is? I have a theory. I want to hear your opinion first.
I asked the question for kind of a reason. I feel like it's because ultimately Vince likes him. Like the moment I saw Austin Theory doing these backstage segments with Vince McMahon, I'm like, wow, I guess this guy's going to be a big deal. And excuse me, I don't really know why that is. Like, I don't have a reason to dislike him. I've always been really on the fence about Theory. Like, he's good in ring. He looks believable and everything, but I just haven't quite seen enough of him. But he does feel a little pushed down our throats and almost kind of like Rocky Maivia, to bring that back up. Like he almost is like sort of a modern day Rocky Maivia in a sense. And who knows, maybe he'll have to join a gang of black people and raise his fist up and get over it. No, I don't know. That's actually a good theory, no pun intended. Like maybe he'll eventually like go heel and fans kind of will embrace him, because I feel like he is getting pushed down our throats in a sense.
He is a heel.
Yeah. But guys, yeah, he's a heel.
He's a heel.
Oh, well.
You don't think he's a heel?
I don't.
The selfie douchebag? Yeah, he's definitely a heel. But
I feel people kind of like that, though. Or maybe I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's okay to like it. I like a lot of the bad guys, But I think like the AEW is pushing all the ex-WWE guys and older guys, and like we're gonna keep pushing Brock and Roman forever. But everyone besides him, all the big name people are like late 30s, early 40s. So I think if he pushes Theory and Cody Rhodes, that's showing a guy like MJF, Hangman Page, you jump ship. We're gonna make stars. AEW's not making stars. You're stealing our stars,
Yeah, but if MJF came in WWE, they wouldn't have a choice but to push him.
Yeah, but if he saw Cody get jobbed out, he wouldn't even consider coming here, But like, suppose a guy like Hangman Page comes over here, like if there hasn't been a new star in 10 years, if it's just Drew and Lashley at age 38, whatever they are now, like the same four guys, it wouldn't be any incentive to come over here. I don't think Hangman's going to ever go over there. Probably never Kenny Omega 2. But like a younger guy like an MJF or Wardlow gives them incentive like, oh, wow, I can actually get a world title here if a guy like Austin Theory got it, Or they can turn Austin Theory face. Like Johnny liked his selfie thing too. He is kind of funny. Girls, it's easy for the girls to end up liking him too. Like if this leads to a face turn, he helps. I don't know how he would turn face right now. You have to help Roman Reigns.
I just can't.
Maybe have to do something against Vince.
Yeah, slams Vince or something, or helps Pat McAfee against Corbin.
I can't see him winning the title, but yeah, I mean, I guess the money. I don't know.
I don't think he's ready for it too. I'm 100% with you. Where like two good Intercontinental title reigns and a better U.S. title reign would have been much better. And not getting crushed by Lashley would have been. If he would have pinned Lashley, then oh my god, yeah, he'd be almost ready for a world title reign.
Yeah, because I've been on the fence about him, like I've been saying. Therefore, I felt like U.S. champion in that pool was like right where he needed to be. I just felt like I didn't need to see him win Money in the Bank. I would have rathered Seth, Riddle, McIntyre. So that's just kind of how I felt.
Yeah, it was disappointing him winning.
Yeah, and this Money in the Bank, like there were so many good storylines for like four of the people in the match too. And then
And that
they,
was, yeah, you're right.
Sami Zayn would have been a good story. Riddle would have been a good story. You know, like, but they.
They picked the worst one.
Hey, you know, it's one
The
thing they
worst
got
story
right.
you
At
could
least they did it
possibly
right
have.
with Liv Morgan, you know? So cheers to her. Did she win the dollar Money in the Bank, by the way?
No, Lacey Evans did.
There you go. Staying true to the game.
Yep. And
I was
Tony,
right though about the face winning the Money in the Bank. That they either cashed it. Huh?
Yeah, you were right.
Cashed it in right away like a heel, though. You said she'd have to
Yeah.
like call like a face, though.
No, I said they a face cashes it in that night, or they go on the next night and set up a match or something like that.
Yeah.
She
You did
definitely
predict,
did.
I'd say. Because even though Ronda was hurt, and I guess on paper can be viewed as a heel tactic, like I agree with Jim, it's the face thing to do. You just do it that night, and therefore it's not like evil. It's just like, I won this, I'm coming now, I want to be the champion, and that's commendable and a face thing to do, you know?
I don't think it's a face thing to do, but I think they think it's a face thing to do, and that became a face thing to do. But it's like if you think about it from a story standpoint, it's not a face thing to do. You guys know what I'm saying on that, though?
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah.
I do, but when you were watching, did it not feel like the hero finally won type of moment? Like,
Yeah, and everyone just kind of is down on Ronda Rousey right now too, so that helped.
yeah,
And Liv is so hot, where like pretty girls can get away with anything.
exactly. Girls can be heels and still be the face is the moral of that conversation.
Yep. You can walk into a bar with $0 and walk home
And everyone loves you.
except for their boyfriend. Jim, who do you think's one of the worst U.S. champions of all time? Or is there any bad
boy.
U.S. gimmicks?
One of the worst. Well, I know who had the shortest reign ever of
Was it
like
ever?
5 seconds or 5 minutes. Huh?
Who's that?
Stone Cold.
When he was Steve, right?
Huh?
When he was Stone Cold or in WCW?
I think WCW.
He had a couple good reigns in WCW too, though. He was actually pretty good.
Yeah. No, well, I'm just saying I know who had the shortest. I'm trying to think. Corbin. He was pretty bad. U.S. champ.
Jinder Mahal was pretty good.
You know who was one guy I looked up and I had no recollection of him being a U.S. champ? He had a great IC championship and eventually got to win the WWE championship. I never remembered Eddie Guerrero being U.S. champ, but I saw he was. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah. Who did he beat for it?
I don't remember. Like, I remember his IC run with like China, and China became IC champ, and it was like a big thing. Like,
I think him and the Radicals like exchanged it off. Him and like Benoit had good feuds back then, and I don't think
know.
so earlier on. You're saying?
Yeah.
I know who the worst Intercontinental champ ever was.
I'd have to think about it. I have to prepare.
Are you going to say China? Because I just brought her up.
No. He was the champion before the one now.
What?
The one who was the champion before now.
Ricochet?
Yeah.
He wasn't the worst ever, but that was pretty bad. Pretty uneventful reign. Rey Mysterio was a U.S. champ. He had a pretty shitty reign. I think like Superfly Snuka had it before in WCW. I think they gave it to like Ricky Steamboat had it a couple times. So
Big Show had it.
Big Miz had it. R-Truth had it too, twice. That was before he was like 100% joke. He still had some credibility. And then there's something I wanted to bring up, and I forgot. I should have wrote it down. Can you guys think of any American themed women? Has there been any?
Sure there had.
I had a fun 4th of July question to keep it on the theme if no one can think of a chick. Well, who had the best pyro, or who jumps in your head when you
Cody.
think of like Cody?
Cody, like
shout to Goldberg for some reason.
Goldberg had some great pyro. His whole entrance was great. Yeah, with the X.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kane's is pretty legendary.
Ah,
I know it's
yeah.
not along the same firework look, but you know.
Especially live, like when he does it in person, you can feel the flames. Like, have you ever seen it?
Batista had some good shit.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. Do you guys feel like pyro's as necessary as it used to be? Like I feel like you kind of knew who was going to be a big guy by if they gave him pyro, but
Yeah, well, I think as long as you have something unique in your entrance, you're a big deal. I think everyone that's going to get a title one day should have something unique, something that stands out. But I'm so glad Drew, like I know a lot of people make fun of his sword thing. I love it where he lights the
I do
flame.
too.
It's awesome. It just makes it feel so much more. But they overdo it sometimes. If he's like trying to run down there and fight somebody, don't do the full entrance. They should save it sometimes for pay-per-views. You don't need to do it every time. They do overdo it. I'll say that though, because you want to you start to lose the specialty of it. You know?
Yeah, I kind of agree. But I remember when I first saw it, I thought it was awesome because like we talked about before, Drew kind of got over with me like right away. I was like, whoa, this dude's like big as shit. Like he's jacked. He has a unique look. And then he slams the sword and dresses like Braveheart at pay-per-views. Like I'm on board. So I don't know. I definitely thought that was cool too, seeing it for the first time. But yeah, maybe it should be more of a special thing.
As much as I say that too, if I was a little kid and I didn't see his special entrance, I'd be upset, you know? So it could just be more for the little kids.
Yeah. Could say this too, like the Brood came up from the flames every fucking time, you know?
Yeah. But they don't fight every week too. Like Undertaker does his entrance every time, but he's not on TV all the time as well too.
That's a good point. How about you, Jim? Any other like big pyros you can think of off the top of your head that you really like?
Well, I meant like Batista. Brock has good pyro.
That's right. I almost forgot about
Had
that.
really good pyro. I mean, Goldberg.
You guys remember when China used to come with the like gun and
Yeah.
pyro for a little bit? That was cool.
Even Jeff Hardy does, and they shoot as long as it's unique. And when Lashley goes like this, they shoot 2 fireworks. As long as it's like unique and fits what you're doing, it's pretty cool in my opinion too.
Edge had good stuff too. He used to,
Oh yeah, when he jumped to his knees,
like
and
when he would go down and do that and go off.
and Jericho, right when the countdown went down, and the whole would go like before he came out, then he'd do his pose.
Did we bring up X-Pac with the like?
But he did. Yeah, that's awesome.
Super good.
There's guys that had like when they got in the ring. Razor Ramon had pyro like when he got in the ring. It was like shoot up behind him. Ultimate Warrior had his like Ultimate Warrior symbol behind him too inside the ring. So I like when they do like unique stuff like that sometimes too.
Nice.
I kind of like some of it now, like when Roman comes in and they do like the big graphic like of him. You know what I'm talking about?
The
I
CGI, I don't like the CGI. It looks kind of like Riddle's birds that come out of his feet. You know, like,
Oh no, I like it. It's different.
maybe
I don't like it, but I feel like they do it for too many people. Like if they just did it for like a small handful of people, or even just Roman, like it would mean more. But the fact that they bring it up, it's kind of I see what Jim means. Like I don't know, it just feels a little.
The only
gimmicky.
one I really remember what it looks like is Roman. So
Well, I don't like Becky's. You got the big time Bex girl. You got Bianca Belair's with like that dumb cartoon face with
the whip.
Yeah. You got they're the 2 bad ones. I like Lashley's. I don't like Roman's. I don't like Roman's pose. His head's up like this, like the coloring's off on his skin. I like Lashley's though. I don't hate Riddle's as much as Cornette does, but it's a little cheesy. I think Orton's doesn't look bad. The Snakes. You guys want to go another round or not?
If we have more topics, I'm game. But if we're getting a little dry,
Yeah, Jim. We don't give much of the older guys much love on here too, because like we're Attitude Era first. Who are some like WCW US champs you like appreciate, or any WCW America themes that you appreciate?
Well, I mentioned that Magnum TA, Dusty Rhodes. Lex Luger, obviously. He was mostly WCW with the US title. I mean, those are the guys that come to mind. I think Ric Flair had it a bunch.
Did you like Greg Valentine? The Hammer Valentine had it over there.
Yeah, that was way back, NWA.
Yeah, yeah. Booker T had it. Like a little later, Johnny might remember that one.
Yeah, I mean,
JBL.
obviously Goldberg had it. It was like the Intercontinental title in WCW.
Oh, Raven had it for one day, then lost it to Goldberg the next day, which kind of sucked. I loved Raven.
Bummer.
Yeah.
You part of the flock.
Yeah, I was a big flocker. That's why I do my Razor pose, is like an homage to Raven.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. I love Raven.
I had a question real quick on the topic. What do you guys think was the best looking U.S. title? Would you give it to the Spinner?
No.
The one right before the new one was my favorite one, honestly. That was beautiful. That was the best looking belt by far, I think.
I think I know what you're talking about, where it like kind of had the American flag, but not like over the top.
Yeah, it was like perfect. And now they got this ugly gold and blue looking thing. How about you, Jim?
Yeah, I like that one, but I'm partial to like the old school one. Just like with most of the belts, I like the old school, original, like not original, but like back in the 80s, 90s. I thought they were really cool.
I kind of wish they did.
Down to. But whenever we talk about like belts, I feel like it always just comes back to like, your era of like wrestling. Like my favorite heavyweight titles, like, the Gold Eagle or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just,
yeah, because that was your first like exposure to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. The belts now are just. I like the AEW belt. It's beautiful. I don't like just the WWE. Like it's more about their brand recognition. Like you got to see WWE more than see gold and see.
I like the DCW belts. I think they're the best belts.
Yeah, the Dollar Club belts are much better than the Intercontinental and the U.S. championships right now.
I mean, they're way better.
Absolutely. Yeah, and then they should have we should have make like a Philadelphia championship. I wonder if we got to look that up, see if there is like a Pennsylvania championship out there, like some independent organization. That'd be cool.
It's kind of surprising there isn't with, the ECW, attachment to it. Like, it's surprising they never did, like, a Philly championship.
Well, they were the Eastern Championship Wrestling Championship, World Championship at first, and then that turned into the Extreme Championship Wrestling. So it kind of was. It was kind of like the whole tri-state Jersey, New York.
I was just going to say the tri-state title would be awesome.
Yeah. Great idea. Cool. But I think that's enough for the 4th of July talk. We had a pretty good conversation tonight. Any closing thoughts there, Jimmy Boy? Or if not, where can we find it?
Hey, happy 4th of July. God bless America. Love you. You can find me at TikTok at Jim Prendy54, Facebook Jimmy Prendergast Jr. And you can go to Dollar Club Wrestling on YouTube and TikTok, Dollar Club Entertainment Podcast. We do also check that out. Pro Wrestling Tees, Dollar Club Wrestling. Check out some awesome tees. And what do you got, Skip?
Yeah, besides at the pizza store, Johnny, where can we find you at?
Yeah, aside from the pizza store, man, you guys can just go to ProWrestlingTees.com, search Dollar Club Wrestling, or I'm going to fuck your mom. It's the man that loves strippers and notoriously bad tipper, Dong Skipper.
Cool. Yeah, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, Dollar Club Wrestling. On TikTok, too, Dollar Club Wrestling. You can follow my personal accounts at Panetta Sexy Time. Also, July 23rd, there's possible good, very, very big news coming, but I can't say yet because it's not 100% official. But the Dollar Club will be in the historic Hamburg Fieldhouse in Hamburg, Pennsylvania. Definitely come check that out. Let me give you the list of some of the people that are going to be there. You can come meet and greet Booker T, Queen Charmel, Sergeant Slaughter, the Headbangers, Rock and Roll Express, the Acclaimed, Max Caster there, young people there. The Dark Order, Coco Beware, Earl Hebner, Angelina Love, Shane Douglas, Paul Roma, Danny Davis, Demolition, The Goon, Tugboat, Layla Gray, she's beautiful. She's probably going to win the dollar. She just joined Jade Cargill's gang. Tommy Rich, Ronnie Garvin, The Blue Meanie, Chris Bay, Harvey Whippleman, Lady Frost, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Dexter Loomis, Virgil, Tatanka, Gene Snitsky. It's gonna be a great time. July 23rd, everybody. Come to the historic Hamburg Fieldhouse. It's like past Allentown, Pennsylvania. Andre the Giant used to wrestle there. So come see us. Dollar Club.
Don't forget
Wrestling.
about our promos.
And like our promos on YouTube, we have a championship. Jim Prendy is our world champion.
If you
Sean-
want to join in, you can.
If you want to challenge us to a promo, just do a promo and upload it to TikTok or YouTube and hashtag Dollar Club Wrestling Promo. And whoever's the most likes at the end of the month is the champion. You have to challenge somebody, though. So Jim Prendy is our world champion, and Sean Liam Riley is our hardcore intercontinental champion. Country Kev's going for the belt, and Don Skipper's going for you. There's a lot of challengers. We've got a pretty good roster right now. All right, have a great night, everybody, and remember, respect the
I'd
dollar.
buy that for $1.